Last week, I made the famous sardine rolls, and my sister looked at me and said, "Imagine making this with chicken." Instantly, I knew it was going to be a hit, and yes, it is. Look at that flaky crust and that delicious chicken filling. Let's make it together. This is the chicken I'll be using, and these are all layers. My favorite species of chicken because of how flavorful it seems to be. So here I'm using drumsticks and thigh. The secret is just to use the chicken part that has more of the flesh and less bone, okay? I pour them into the pot, then I season them with salt, pepper, and chicken seasoning. That is why I always use chicken seasoning when making chicken. It enhances the natural chicken flavor. Then I added in water and cooked them until soft and tender. While the chicken was on the fire, I cracked my eggs. And here's a tip, always crack each egg into a separate plate before combining so you don't risk spoiling the rest if one egg is bad. Then for the dough, I added flour, baking powder, and a pinch of salt into a bowl. Then I mixed them all together to combine. I now added in cold margarine. Mix it until you get a crumb-like texture. Now, this is the secret to that beautiful flakiness you find in those your favorite pies that you buy out there. So always make sure you're using cold butter or margarine, okay? Then I poured in the eggs and mixed well first before adding in cold water. I do this so I don't end up adding too much water at once. Remember, you don't need too much water for this, okay? The amount of cold water you need may vary depending on the type of flour you're using. So add in the water gradually. Cold ingredients helps the dough stay light and flaky. So always make sure that the water is very cold, okay? I mix gently without kneading, then put it straight into cling film and freeze for about 30 minutes. Don't worry, the recipe and the full ingredients will be in the description box below, so do well to check that out. I went back to check on the chicken. At this point, they were ready. You know, it takes a lot of time to cook this old layer, so make sure you cook until they are very tender. Next, I deboned them, removed the skin, and shredded them into tiny pieces. And if you have a food processor, you can use that for a finer texture. By the way, it's Fidel here. If you're enjoying this recipe so far, please give this video a thumbs up, share it, drop your comments as well. And if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button and tap the notification bell so you don't miss any of my recipes. In a pan, I heated soy oil, then fried some ginger garlic paste, white onion, purple onion, and fresh Scotch bonnet pepper. I fry that for about 4 minutes. Fry until it is fragrant, okay? It has a major role to play in the filling. After frying that for a couple of minutes, I added in the shredded chicken and then I stirred on that for about 4 minutes. I then went ahead to season with some chicken seasoning and salt. And then I added in the chicken broth. So here is a note for you. I made a little mistake. I added the seasoning first before pouring in the chicken stock, but it's actually better to add the stock first, taste, and then adjust your seasoning. Learn from me so you get a perfect balance every time, okay? To bind the filling, I added in some flour as well. I allowed that to cook for a while before I set it aside to cool down completely. After 30 minutes, when the dough has chilled, I brought it out of the freezer, cut off a portion, and rolled it on a flat surface. So ensure you flour your work surface before you roll it, okay? Then I measured the dough with my measuring tape to get the size I wanted. This step would help you get accurate size and accurate amounts of chicken rolls for each measurement you're using. And on the long run, it can help you calculate the amount of chicken rolls you want to make using specific measurements. So it is very, very important, okay? Next up, I would cut out the excess and take them away. Then use water to just rub round the edges. Then I place the filling along one edge of the dough, not in the middle. Roll it up tightly, and then just to make it look very appealing, I went ahead to add in more of the chicken sauce at the edges. After rolling all of them, I realized the dough had already defrosted, so I placed the rolls back into the freezer for about 30 minutes before brushing with egg wash. So at this point, you can freeze them up to 3 months. Just store them properly in an airtight container or Ziploc bag, and then when you're ready to enjoy, you can now brush with the egg wash and bake straight from the freezer, okay? I wanted it to still be very hard before I bake, so it comes out with that very flaky feeling. So after brushing with egg wash, I baked mine at 180 degrees C for about 45 minutes, and they came out perfectly golden, flaky and packed with flavors. Honestly, this chicken rolls is worth every step. So I want to ask you a question. Sardine or chicken? Which one are you picking? Let me know in the comment section below. Bye, guys.